Hi all. Today I wanted to talk about people pleasing and emotional abuse. Now, in my opinion, I feel that emotional abuse and people pleasing kind of go hand in hand in some type of way, because I think it's quite common for people who are people pleasers to be people who have maybe received a lot of criticism in their childhood years, maybe from their parents, always criticizing them. They've kind of stored this critical voice in their heads, which is most likely their parent or whoever took care of them when they were children, or they got emotionally abused as children, maybe the parent or the caregiver. And sometimes it's even like in adolescence, it happens later on where, a set of friends may emotionally abuse somebody as well. But what it does is basically train you that if you don't comply with these instructions, if you don't comply with what we want, if you don't comply with what I want, then we're not going to give you love. We're not going to give you attention. We're not going to give you all those things that you crave, that you desire. You're not going to get that good treatment. You're going to get the silent treatment. You are going to get shouted at. You are going to get, a backlash for whatever you say or do or whatever. So it's kind of teaching you, okay, well, I need to keep this person happy in order to not get shouted at, or in order to avoid that silent treatment that makes me feel, a bit anxious and a bit unsettled. I need to avoid that. So what do? I condense myself or shrink myself to try and comply and make them happy, whatever I want, whatever my personal wants and needs are, I'm going to bypass that. Why? Because keeping this person happy is more important to me. I will neglect myself just to receive the love, care, attention, and acceptance from this person. And that often happens in households. Maybe a narcissistic mother or a narcissistic father might do this to their child. If you don't do this, then you're not going to get that. If you don't do that, you're not going to get that, kind of thing. And that's not to say, any parent that said, if you don't get good grades, you're not going to get a PS2 or whatever, it was back then, or even now. Okay. So that's not to say that every parent that kind of gives you conditions is, now an abusive parent, because that's not true. But I'm talking about withholding love from a child, giving it really harsh criticism and stuff like that. Oh, you're just like your mother, or you're just like your father, or this is what I can't stand about you, or you're not as smart as Sarah, or you're not as good as, Tobias, or what have you. You're just, just this is how you are. I don't know what's wrong with you, that kind of thing. So you now start to really internalize those harsh words and think, wow, there is something wrong with me. There is this kind of, and gives you that kind of internal shame that, I'm not good enough, I'm just not good enough. Even my father or even my mother or whoever's the abuser, it might be your grandma or whatever, just whoever's giving you these harsh words about yourself, you actually internalize their voice. So instead of hearing your voice in your head when you're making decisions and going out there, making friends, making partners and, life decisions and all that, even in your workplace, you might be hearing their voice in your head saying, you're not good enough. You're so stupid. I can't believe you're like that. You're not as good as Tobias, or you're not as good as Sarah. Or you're actually thinking of yourself as a lower kind of class human being just because this person didn't make you feel like you are the top of the world, and that's how you can go on into like other kind of relationships and friendships where you're being emotionally abused, friends can do this a lot, emotionally abusing other friends because they know that maybe they have low self-esteem, or maybe they have, a troubled childhood, or, they don't want to speak up for themselves. And they'll say, if you don't do this, then, or they'll give you, you get punished and rewarded. They might humiliate you, for something that, like is really embarrassing, and they know something about you. So they might kind of just, throw it out there just to embarrass you and stuff like that. But really, that, wow, that makes me feel really bad. But you'll still hang out with this person. You'll still be, kind of desperate to keep the friendship with this person because, you want their approval, because they're not going to be mean all the time. They're going to show you that, oh, yeah, they're a good friend some of the time, just so you trust them and keep telling them your secrets, but then sometimes they'll put in these snide remarks and snide comments and, humiliate you intermittently and stuff like that. That's emotional abuse from a friend, You might be asking them, does my body look good? Or, I've been trying to lose some weight sometime. And they're like, you're never going to lose that weight, or whatever, that kind of thing. So you can get emotionally abused by a friend. Okay. It's not always, a family member or even a partner, but even in a kind of partner situation, this happens a lot. The humiliation, of your body or your intellect or, your job situation or what have you, your looks all the time. I think I heard of one couple where, well, too close to home. Let me not go with that one. But lots of different kind of things where they're criticizing you, talking about your past, bringing up your past and things that they know about you, things that is actually quite shameful and stuff that you might feel embarrassed about. But, they might bring it up in an argument or they might bring it up, just in general, just to make you feel small and stuff like that. That's emotional abuse, getting the silent treatment. If you said something or said your mind, you try to speak your mind or your heart on something. I remember, when I was in my marriage and, I would kind of buck up the courage to, confront an issue, with my children's father. And, I would just be thinking, oh God, like I would literally feel like I'm approaching my dad, to come and, have this conversation. But I feel like it's really important for me to, express myself and voice my opinions or the way I feel about a certain situation. So I was going to say it anyway, but then it would be like, I would get this huge backlash. And some people may get a silent treatment or something like that. Or maybe, the husband would sleep in a different room for about a week and just ignore the wife. And, if she brings him some food, he might be like, no, I'm not eating that. Or, I'll have Burger King tonight or whatever, just really making her feel like really bad about herself, like just for bringing this one thing up. So what does that do? It teaches you, don't stand up for yourself. Don't speak up for yourself. If something is bothering you, don't say it. Why? Because you're going to get this silent treatment or you're going to get this huge uproar as I used to, oh, Xara, why are you doing this? Why are you making trouble? Why are you doing this? Da, 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 da. Just a huge like uproar. And I'm thinking, I just cannot be bothered with this drama. Like, all I wanted to do was express myself and tell you I am not happy with this, And what you should be doing is respecting it. That's what a respectful partner would do. They would actually respect your feelings, and try and go into that. Okay, well, I hear where you're coming from or whatever, or just try and hear your point of view and let you know that you're not wrong. You're not, you're okay with this, okay? I might disagree with you on that, or I may be sorry about that. I didn't mean to X, Y, and Z, but they're not going to shame you by giving you silent treatment, ignoring you, telling their friends about you, threatening you, or bringing out all your secrets, talking rubbish and stuff like that. That's just unhealthy and it's toxic, So what it kind of does is kind of turn you into a people pleaser because you always want to keep people happy. If somebody gets upset with you, or even if you think somebody's upset with you, you might just try and overcompensate by now doing like good gestures just so they know that you're a good person. I need to prove myself. I'm a good person, So you will constantly be trying to, really give all your energy to showing and proving that you're a good person because, probably when you were a child or something like that, your parents kept telling you you're not a good person or what have you. So you have this internal kind of, need to show the world that you're a good person. But, I'm here to tell you, we don't have to do that no more. We don't have to do that no more. No, I think internally you are a good person. We are all good people. Well, some of us, some of us, the majority of us are good people. Some people, you're rotten inside out. Nope, not taking it back. Rotten. Okay. Some people rotten. Okay. And it took me a long time to understand that because I did have this outlook on life like, oh, everybody's a good person. Everybody has issues, let's accept everybody as they are. Da, 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 da. boy, did I have to learn the hard way that some people are just rotten inside out. But for the most part, a lot of us are good people, and we don't have to prove. Listen, we are the most important people. Forget your mother, forget your father, forget your husband, your partner, or your friends or whatever. Listen, if something is making you feel uncomfortable, you have the right to stand up for yourself, okay? As an individual, you have the right to stand up for yourself. You have the right to tell them, I don't feel good about this, or I don't like this, or I'm not comfortable with this. You have the right, because if you don't do that and stand up for yourself and tell people, I'm important. What I want is important. What I need is important. My views, my opinions, is important. They're going to think you're not important, and they're going to walk all over you and think, oh yeah, she's good. We can just abuse her. We can just, walk all over him. We can just do all that and stuff like that. They're going to walk all over you because you're not telling them that you're a valuable person. What you have to say is valuable. You have a voice. You can stand up for yourself. You're not somebody that can be messed with. Okay, so I think it's very important that you do stand up for yourself and you do tell people what it is that you want, what it is that you're comfortable with, and stuff like that. So let's stop the emotional abuse and the people pleasing and really come into ourselves and think, you know what, I am the most important person in every situation that you feel uncomfortable. Just think, who am I pleasing here? Is this emotional abuse or what have you? No. I am the most important person here, and I'm going to keep myself happy. I am going to be dedicated to keeping myself happy.